Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. This is Ishan Isaac with Zishan on air, live with social media, and we'll dive right into the key news topics today. The lengths Americans are willing to go to make every penny count. That was the main headline in the Wall Street Journal. And from buying half a cow, literally, this one person who was covered in this storyline, where he bought half a cow, to watering down soap. People are experimenting with frugality, and it is affecting sales at consumer companies. So every penny, every dollar matters, and it's counting. Now, in terms of this information that came out from the Federal Reserve, the U.S. household assets by wealth in percentile for the second quarter in 2025, the top 0.1% of the people in America, they make $23.33 trillion dollars in terms of their assets. Those are the number of assets that they got in terms of their wealth and in terms of their assets. And for 99 to 99.9%, that's 28.53 trillion. Then 90 to 99 is 60.93 trillion. Then 50 to 90% is 50.27 trillion. And then the bottom 50% of the population, they have assets of about 4.21 trillion. This is all the recorded number of assets that the US household possesses. And that total makes up about $167.27 trillion. So let's take a step back. Let's look at in terms of the percentages. So the top 0.1% is basically 13.9% of the total wealth that they have. Then the next 0.9%, they have 17.1% of the assets. And then the next 9%, they have 36.4. And then the middle, or the middle class that we know it's been shrinking for decades now, is at 30% of the total number of assets that they possess. And the bottom 50%, they possess, and don't be shocked, 2.5%. So this is where I put these numbers into ChatGPT. This is the AI space and the AI world that we're also living in. And the comment was very interesting. It came from ChatGPT. Very lopsided wealth distribution. The top 10% hold roughly 67% of all assets. So this was the analysis that I did with the help of AI and with the ChatGPT. And these are the numbers. And the source is Federal Reserve in terms of these trillions of dollars of US household assets. Now, this week, the Wall Street Journal has reported, and as we all know, the Feds, they have cut rates by another quarter point, but data blackout obscures the path ahead. We'll talk a little bit about that. What does that mean? And what does that mean for average Americans and how we pay from our groceries to buying vehicles to buying homes and even commercial properties, residential properties, or even first-time home buyers, and what would be the impact to the credit cards and borrowing costs as well as the mortgages. So the mortgages are also closely tied to the T yields or the treasury yields as they call it, and the economy. Still, home buyers could benefit if the expectation of future cuts puts downward pressure on mortgage rates. And this is where there is also an impact right now that the US consumers and Americans are facing because of the shutdown impact on housing. Because now with 25 basis points reduction, a new home buyer securing a $350,000 mortgage at a 6.75% interest rate could potentially see their monthly payments fall by nearly $150. And sometimes that is the difference in terms of the monthly costs or the monthly expenses that they can afford, because now where do they have to come up with $150 or $200 or $300? So that's why these Fed rate cuts are so important in terms of maintaining your balance sheets for your home or for your household, or as the head of the household, or as you're living your own life, because you're also running a small economy or a small part of the economy in the bigger scheme of things. So that's how I look at this, and this information that was shared by, according to Ranieri, and it was reported in the Wall Street Journal. So, quote, over time, such savings can significantly ease household budget pressures, unquote. So that's what she's talking about in terms of how you will manage your own balance sheets or your wallet. Now, automakers or the auto loan rates, that's good news because that will also see some reduction. Now, how much reduction would be passed on? Again, it's the numbers game, and you have to look at quote, while another 25 basis points rate cut may not drastically lower monthly payments in today's high price environment, it could help lift consumer confidence, unquote. Because when we look at home sales versus car sales, it's a significant difference in terms of the dollar values because with an average home cost, as an example, $350,000 or higher, cars people buy for 10,000, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, unless you buy these luxury vehicles. So that could cost you even more. So that's why the rate cuts would not be as significant for the auto buyers and those who are in the market to purchase new vehicles. And then older vehicles, you may get a higher interest rate because that's how the market works, and because there's more risk for the lenders when you're buying an older vehicle as compared to a newer vehicle. And again, I'm not a financial expert here, so I'm just giving you information based on the research that I do. Now, when the Fed cut rates in the second half of 2024, lowering its benchmark by a full point by December, the average credit card rate fell by only 0.23%. So again, over the same period, an analysis by card ratings found. Now, what they have found, and this is also reported by Stephen Cates, a financial analyst at Bankrate, quote, a quarter point rate cut is good, but it doesn't really change a lot. It doesn't really change a lot for people carrying a balance on their credit card because again, 0.23% on a $10,000 balance if you're carrying on a credit card will not give you substantial savings. But if you carry more, then it will again add up more. So this is how the example they've given is, for example, if you have $7,000 in credit card debt on a card with a 24.19% interest rate and pay $250 per month on that balance, lowering the APR by a quarter point would save about $61 over the lifetime of the loan, according to calculations by Matt Schultz, Lending Tree's chief credit analyst. So again, the significance in terms of the percentage savings on the interest rate cuts would also be lower. But again, it will also boost consumer confidence because now people will know that the Feds will be cutting more rates in the coming months and in coming years. This was the first time the rate cuts have been this low, and the rate has been this low altogether in the past 3 years. So credit cards story is there, and as well as this is something that impacts all of us, all consumers, not only in America, but also then all over the world, because that's how the financial markets work with all these banks working together to lend money to borrowers. And then at the same time, even for any kind of borrowers, residential type borrowing or commercial borrowing for big companies. So that also helps companies to borrow and invest, and then they can hire more people. So hopefully it should also help with the job market. So that's the story here. And it's a big story because everyone was waiting for, and President Trump has been pressuring the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, to lower the interest rates. But remember, these are independent or semi-autonomous organizations, especially the Federal Reserve System. The US Treasury borrow money from Federal Reserve, and then the oversight is from the US Congress and these lawmakers. And then there is the rule, and then they also put some amendments in the Constitution as well with regards to how the Federal Reserve was created. And then whenever they have to raise the ceiling in terms of borrowing, the US government, which they have to borrow, then they have to go back and make sure that they increase that credit ceiling or the credit limit, as we all have on our credit cards. So think of it this way, just trying to keep it easier for in layman terms for anyone to understand this. And again, please do more research on your end as well, because it impacts all of us as Americans, and even those who may be visiting us, because this is how the prices change in the market when we go out to eat or when we purchase any item in the commercial sector. I would like to thank our key advertisers. Again, Affordable Insurance of Texas, for all your auto insurance needs. Just give them a call. Their number is 713-785-4000, 713-785-4000. And you can also visit them on the World Wide Web, on the internet, www.aitinsurance.com. Just go to aitinsurance.com. And for your homeowners insurance, for commercial insurance, business insurance, health insurance, and especially auto insurance, call 713-785-4000. And they've been in business for decades. They have many locations in Houston, greater Houston area, even in many different cities in the state of Texas. Call them 713-785-4000. aitinsurance.com, Affordable Insurance of Texas. Also, I would like to thank our key advertiser and sponsor, Group Saudi Palace. Under thousands of square footage, you will find every formal attire for brides and grooms, and all these traditional dresses, and for men's sherwanis, and for women these chanya, choli, sharare, garare, as we call them in our language. And you can visit Group Saudi Palace. You can also call them and order by calling this number, 832-267-0065, 832-267-0065. And you can go to their website and also see all these beautiful dresses for men, women, children, and people from all different age groups, even toddlers and young boys, young girls. groupsari.com. They also have new shipment arrived from Pakistan as well, and they have different clothing for all different occasions. groupsari.com, ROOPSARI.com, groupsari.com, Group Sari Palace at Hillcroft, close to Harvard. You cannot miss them. And again, when you are wearing beautiful dresses, those dresses would not be complete if you are not wearing beautiful jewelry. And with that, go to Prince Jewelers Houston. Prince Jewelers Houston, they have beautiful necklaces, heavy sets, light sets for everyday occasion, and even for weddings or formal events. You can get these beautiful gold jewelry, earrings, necklaces, and even rings. And you can even sell your gold. You can, yes, get good prices. Gold is also at high price levels at this point, so you can even sell jewelry and buy newer sets as well. And visit them at 5901 Hillcroft, suite number C3 in Hillcroft Shopping Plaza, 281-777-1457. That's the number, 281-777-1457. Prince Jewelers Houston, and they have also been in business for decades. So shop with confidence and go to Prince Jewelers Houston. With that, I would like to sign off and continue with the legacy media. And again, thanks for joining in. If you have not subscribed my YouTube channel, please do, and just subscribe. And if you have not joined me on Facebook, please join me. And again, thanks for watching, and we'll continue with the legacy media. Thank you.